BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. You think you know your stuff? Well, get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200K. $200,000. It's ridiculous. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in the action. Bet online. The game starts here. Konnan, did you and Joe watch Monday Night Raw?
Yeah,
I did.
I saw most of it. Yeah,
When did you watch it?
I watched it yesterday.
When did you watch it, Konnan?
Monday and Tuesday.
Well, but after did you watch the football game?
Yeah.
Okay, so after the football game, you watched it?
Yeah.
Okay. I watched it on Wednesday. There's no way I'm watching this show live with Monday Football on.
Me neither. The only good thing is that when they go to USA, when they go, I think they're doing 2 hours now, right?
For
Right.
the rest of the year,
Yeah.
they'll do 2 hours.
So that'll be cool. Hopefully they'll keep it that way.
Agreed.
So that's interesting. So let me see here. The ratings were okay. So they started off with a segment. They went right into the Wyatt 6 against the. Actually, this is very good because they showed a good 3-minute video package before this started, which is smart because they caught everybody up on this angle. If you're watching Raw, the show to me is like if you remember the old vinyl records, Konnan.
Yep.
So if Raw is running at 45 speed, it's like when the Wyatt 6 come out, it's a 33 speed.
Right.
It's like their entrance is very long, very posy. They all get out there, they huddle together, for an extended period of time, and they slowly come to the ring and start, so then they just got into basically just a hardcore brawl. It was a street fight, and tables, trash cans, a lot of. I wouldn't even call them bumps. Because when you bump is you land and you smack your head. It's like a safe thing. Bro, these people they would just get thrown and just not take a safe bump, like get clobbered into something. Like you thrown over the thing. Yeah. The most entertaining spot of this match, they were basically treating Rowan like is the really strong character on this. Like if this was a video game. Because they put him down and kind of they laid him out, all the chairs on top of him. So then he finally came to life. And he went and he picked one of the walls of the barricades off, and he picked the barricade up and used it like a shield and started clobbering those guys. They were taking good bumps on that. That was a very entertaining spot. But eventually, the Wyatt 6 won. Dude, this was 17. Okay, this was 17 minutes long, and the pre-match and the entrance probably took up another 8 minutes, and the post-match where they show him in the ring posing and stuff. Bro, it's like. I get it, but they're treating this act like it's I don't
the
know.
top act in the show.
Right. And I'm just like, all right, guys, let's move along. And we can see that they maintain a decent number here.
Yeah.
Because
what was very alarming to me was the big drop off in the main event.
Right. Well, the football game's on, so it's
well, the football game was on during the whole show.
Right. No. The football game started late.
At 9, right?
No.
Okay.
No,
That's
8. This is interesting. 8:30-ish.
Right.
Okay, bro. Not a lot of people left. Until 9 o'clock.
They didn't leave at 9 because that was the highest segment.
Well, after 9. Yeah, but it's interesting, bro. The one thing about it, the crowd was very hot, and they kept. Bro, WWE is constantly doing this. AEW is having a hard time putting people in the seats. WWE is showing the arena, and literally, there's not a single empty seat in the house.
And they're into every storyline. They have chants for everybody. Yeah.
Right. What did you think about this?
All right, you can take that down, Joe. I like this match a lot. It's kind of funny to me because for a while, weren't they calling Nikki Witch something?
Hang on
Nikki Cross.
Joe, where are you, Joe? You're muted and you're off camera. I probably stepped away. Go ahead.
this is kind of weird to me because they remember for a while they were calling Nikki Cross Witch something. Do you remember that or no?
Right. Abby the Witch.
Abby the Witch. Now they're back to calling her Nikki Cross,
Right.
which I didn't understand.
Like, whatever. I don't think people really.
Well, still, why are you changing her name is all I'd like to know. It's not a big deal. It ain't like I'm going to have trouble sleeping tonight, but you know, you don't just change somebody's name and not tell them why.
No. They didn't do that though.
They did because they kept.
No. Abby the Witch was remember all of those characters were the puppets from the fun house.
Right.
Now they're Gacy, Loomis. Now they have their names.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're like that
right.
thing. Yeah, right. So now that they're actually characters, they're using their character names. They're not the puppet come to life.
Names.
You know, right. Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right. So, so it was pretty cool. You had Uncle Howdy watching from the rocking chair like Bray Wyatt used to do. I think Nikki and Howdy look the coolest because they have like masks on, and the other guys just kind of look like wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? One guy's got dreads. The other guy, Rowan, what does he have? So I kind of wish that they would have something like a mask or something to make them look freakier and eerier, and maybe even a lighting or bring down the lighting. Not really dark where you can't see anything like they do in their entrance, but maybe like a cool lighting just to give it an eerie effect. Yeah, best spot of the night. They were very, very physical. They did a lot of creative spots, and I liked the match. I liked the fact that the heels were dressed in T-shirts and jeans, so, to give it the street fight thing. And I loved that what you brought up, Rowan using the barricade as a weapon. That was very original.
Right.
I like this. Yeah, way too long.
Right. But they were doing this because they don't want people to change the channel. So it's just like, you turn this on, you're like, what's going on here? You see all this hardcore. Yes.
Right.
That's fun. We talked about that. They actually always get mileage out of their hardcore stuff.
Right.
You know?
And they don't have to hot shot and do crazy angles to try to get your attention.
Correct. So Finn Balor comes out and accused Priest of screwing him whenever he came closer to winning a world championship. And he called him out, said he had something he wanted to say to his face. So Priest came out and power walked to the ring, said he'd been trying to get his hands on Balor since Balor broke up the Judgment Day, and said he would hear what Balor had to say, but then he would drop. And Balor said, no, you don't listen to your order. I don't listen to your orders anymore. You treat him like a sidekick. I'm not a sidekick. Balor said he wanted to face Priest in a singles match of bad blood. Priest accepted and indicated it was about time to get physical. Balor asked to remember the Judgment Day playbook, which Priest said he wrote. Then they showed the Judgment Day now is hitting the ring. They're attacking a 4-on-1. He started getting over on them a little bit. Then Dominic cut him off. Then Rhea come hobbling out with a crutch. Dominic came out to to like block her. She threatened hitting him with the crutch. Liv tried to come up behind her. She hit Liv with the crutch. She had Dominic with the crutch, and Liv clipped her leg, right? So then they threw him in the ring and started working over the both of them and beating them up. And then Jey Uso ran out with a chair and cleared the ring. I enjoyed the Finn Priest verbal exchange. I thought Finn was very good here. He had a very serious, very good facials and seriousness about him, right? But let me finish my take. And then, but I thought there were some errors here. Okay. Way too long. They did not, too long for Rhea to come out and too long before Jey came out. Like, I would
agree on both.
They just did not. I don't know.
I would agree on both, and usually they don't do that.
They usually don't do that. I think they made a tactical error there. As soon as they started attacking, as soon as Priest, they stopped getting the upper hand, Rhea should have come out immediately. And as soon as they cut her off and threw her into the ring, they should have gotten him. Jey should have come out. They should have gotten good heat there. Because like the whole thing is like, I'm walking into a trap. I got my backup behind me. That's why I'm coming out here. I know you guys are going to jump me, but why did everybody take so long to get to the ring? That's that was not. Go ahead. Anything else?
I did like Balor because he's waited a long time for his chance to be, the face of Judgment Day or to just be a main character, and he didn't disappoint. They're obviously which is good. They're trying to put heat on Judgment Day because they lost a lot of heat, losing to, let me give this out here real quick. Yeah. The Twin Towers, and just kind of getting beat up all over and losing Priest.
Who are the Twin Towers?
Rhea and Priest.
Oh, they're calling them the Twin Towers?
Yes, what a brutal name.
I didn't even notice that, to be honest with you.
Right. You
That
like
is
you like
that's
that name for them?
atrocious. No.
Yeah, it is, right,
It's
exactly,
like,
100%.
I thought, look, okay, because I'd never heard them mention it, okay? And because I watch this stuff on Hulu, sometimes I miss some stuff. But I thought when they were talking about the Twin Towers, I thought they were talking about like maybe Bianca and Jade Cargill for some reason.
No, and the thing is, as much cool as Priest is done and Rhea is done, and they're actually cool in person, I can't believe none of them said, I don't want the name,
Right.
but maybe they're getting a push and they don't want to make waves, you know what I'm saying? But that name is super JoJo. But I did like that finally Balor's getting a chance to shine, and he shined here, and they're putting heat back on Judgment Day. They put heat on them throughout the whole show, and we'll get to it when we get to it. I did like, Balor bringing up that he got screwed against Seth Rollins when Priest was carrying the briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I like when he goes, you turn me into a sidekick. I ain't no sidekick.
Yeah.
And so he had a point there, you know what I mean? And then a heel should always have a point, and then the rest you said, Priest came out, got attacked. Ripley came out, got attacked. Jay made the save. Good segment.
Right. Another thing too is like they get good mileage out of their promos because their promos are telling stories still.
Right.
They're like narrating everything, No. So they recap the Braun Breaker, the Bronson Reed thing, and then they interviewed Braun Strowman. And he said he was working last week. Working last week didn't help his injuries. He said a wounded monster is even more dangerous. Bro, this is how bad. Okay, I watched this on Hulu. I didn't see any of the Braun Breaker stuff on Hulu. So Braun Breaker comes in and says Strowman is a monster. Said he would show the world that you don't have to be Strowman's size to be a monster. And he said the only reason Strowman's still standing, he hadn't been in the ring with him. And he said he hopes he wins. How was this?
Very good.
Right.
Very good. Yeah. And Strowman's much bigger, but Breaker just looks very credible, you know what I'm saying? And very believable. Like, he's a badass. He knows he is. He even says it in one of the promos.
Right.
And I love the fact that I know you're going to get to it, that they do a thread with Breaker with everybody that's going to be in the match.
And I missed it. None of that was on Hulu. How about that?
And they were all good, bro.
Right. That's a shame that I missed all that. Maybe I'll go back and watch it. So Bianca and Jade Cargill against Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Just a match, a win for Bianca and them. That was it. Just, 6 minutes. I don't even know what to say here. It really was.
Well, I will say this. The match surprised me, okay? I watched the whole show. I was, but the match surprised me because they had chemistry in this match. And I think since they've been in a couple pay-per-views and house shows, like they have it. And it's the same old formula. Bianca does all the heavy lifting, the selling. Cargill gets the hot tag. They hide her, limitations. But who have they built up for them to beat next?
Right. So they mentioned that Priest and Ripley were taken to a medical facility.
Right.
So they did get, which makes it all seems, like I said, that they took too long to come out. Why they, So your boys, this is the most elite force. They should actually do that, Cody. Remember that when I said this? When I went that show I did in El Paso, Texas, that indie show, and I had like these 3 little Mexican kids out there in the ring. They're on the mic. They're going, "This is the most elite force in wrestling today." That's the way LWO should do the promos.
You want to bury them more?
Elite force in wrestling today. So they're interviewing the LWO. And then Judgment Day showed up, and then Ray ended up bickering with Balor and Dom. And Ray told Balor to stop hiding behind his son and face him in a match. And Balor agreed to face Ray. This is actually pretty good when Judgment Day showed up. What'd you think of this?
I thought it was good.
Right. So one of the better things we've seen lately, Bret comes to the ring, and he's got a Tessitore and what's his name? Wade Barrett are in the ring. I like what they do here, where Barrett and him are both in the ring at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Because I just to me, the visual makes it seem like the announcer's out there, but Wade's like, I'm your backup. back here.
Right.
Like he's a big like nobody's gonna mess with you while you're interviewing these people, right? And they're good together too. By the way, they've another very good job this week. So Bret was talking about being a Canadian, being a champion. He got really good pops. So then Gunther comes out. He says basically, you were a hero of mine growing up. All the boys in the back, grew up watching you. And then I just wanted to tell you, like, this comes from the heart. You were second close to my favorite wrestler growing up. Like, my favorite wrestler, none other, was Bill Goldberg. And that was good. That got a good, that was very entertaining. So Sammy comes out. He's got a Calgary Flames jersey on because that guy Johnny Goodrow and his brother had gotten killed recently. They got ran over by a drunk driver. And
he was drafted by Calgary and
Right.
played there like the first 5 or 6 years of his career.
Correct. And he was a local guy there too. So it was very,
And very, very, just for the people who don't know, very light. They called him Johnny Hockey, Johnny Ham and Cheese. And he was undersized. And he was like a guy that the community really loved a lot.
Right. And the worst part is they did a whole package on
his wife was pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so
very sad.
Horrible, right? And also too, you notice that they're doing they're bringing up stuff like this because there is kind of a, Jackie Redmond.
Yeah, she's a hockey. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
she's a hockey girl and Tessa Torres from ESPN. Yeah. Like, they have relationships with the athletes and stuff. Everything. So this is good. It's smart. I mean, TKO is doing a good job with all these.
1000%.
Zayn cut a really good promo. He took issue with Gunther making a joke about him, said he's a hero to the city and generation wrestlers and him personally. Said if Gunther thinks he's the best, he should prove it by giving him a shot at the world championship. And Gunther told Bret, with all due respect, that he's not in his league. And Gunther said Zayn isn't in Bret's league, and therefore his answer remains no. And he dropped the mic and left. Then Bret said Gunther doesn't look like a champion. He looks like this was a gut. He kept calling him a gutless yellow coward. A gutless yellow coward. So then finally, get Gunther off. He takes his jacket off. He goes in there, and he was going towards Bret. And Zayn blocked a punch, ran Gunther to the ring post, and worked him over. The 2 referees pulled him off. So they had a little physicality there because they kind of like got under Gunther's skin. But I thought this was a very good segment.
Yeah, that was corny, the gutless yellow, but it was also like classic Bret. He always said
corny.
Yeah, no, the gutless yellow coward thing.
The line.
That was a corny line. I was just saying that Bret always had those kind of like Canadian lame insults kind of, but since it's Bret, it's like it was fun to hear it, even though, you know what I mean? Like it was like a throwback or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that first of all, it's always great seeing Bret, one of my personal favorites and people. And plus I worked for his dad. Great angle, Bret in Calgary, great line. I mean, a tremendous line. I super popped. Zayn putting Hart over with the Goodrow jersey. I thought they did a real good. And again, Gunther telling Zayn he's not going to wrestle him.
Right.
This is a very good segment.
Let me tell you, I want to talk something about this for a minute. About the evolution of Gunther, okay? I was concerned that making him the champion might not work because to me, he didn't have that kind of like that flamboyant type charisma that you would think like the champion needs and stuff and everything, But, however, he's nailed every promo he's had. And they've given him some really good material. Like, he actually has a memorable line in almost every promo that he does, like something you can remember. He speaks very well. He's a good-looking guy, and he comes across as very condescending and very arrogant. And dude, I didn't think he would get this, bro. He's got good heat. For a foreign heel, he gets really good heat from the crowd. And I'm just very impressed at his run because he's got such heat as a champion. I think they might have been even experimenting that if he wasn't getting over as a champion, they may like take it off him soon. But bro, he looks like he can fill the shoes in that spot. Well, what do you think of that?
Yeah, his evolution's been great, like you said, from the beginning when he first started. Remember when the whole back, the screen was all red,
right?
Like red capital, like red communist Russia, or
being Eastern far right,
right. With the look and with the 2 guys, like that was a great, and they always give him great lines. He can talk. He's got a very, very cocky face without even saying anything.
Right.
I mean, Bro, that's why they're the best, because they're able to go that guy, that guy, that guy. You know, Priest, Uso, Rhea, Dominic, Gunther. Like, they know how to pick stars and
Right.
then make them even bigger.
And, you know, with the exception of the girls, because they really, you know, whatever. I mean, the mid-card girls on that show are just, they are who they are.
Well,
But it's like
really, all
even
the girls, they don't even really do nothing with them anymore. I mean, even before that was a bigger deal, but like, what are they really doing with Cargill and Bianca, who look like stars, dress like stars?
right.
I mean, superstars. You know, what are they really doing with Becky? You know, not Becky, what's a Bailey?
Well, this
Yeah.
is one thing they do too.
Well, they're starting
It-
something with Bailey and Tiff, which I
Right.
like, but it isn't a big storyline like they used to do back in the day with, like, let's say, what was the one that's taking time off right now? Seth's wives.
Well, Becky Lynch and also Charlotte's coming back soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think
But
with Jade and Bianca, they're just kind of killing time right now, which is exactly what you're seeing. But eventually, they'll probably start teasing dissent. I think they're going to turn them against each other by the Rumble and stuff. So right now,
But-
it's going through the motion.
Well, dude, we all know that's going to happen sooner or later, but they should be doing something with them
Okay.
right now. They should not be running their wheels with two girls that look like that.
Right.
I agree with you. However, I will say this, okay, and this is why they run such a good creative run. No matter where you are on the card, it seems like you always get at some point a good little run of a couple months on TV where you're either really over or got good heat on you. Let me give you some examples. What you call it? Chad Gable. Truth. They did it with Dominic, and then Dominic clicked and stuff. Like, bro, it's like a lot of mid card guys on the show get Bronson Reed now. You know, it's like if you like they intertwine storylines and you connect with the story, and it's like all of a sudden you got your characters getting good heat or it's getting good pops. You know, so very interesting the way that works, huh? When you have people that kind of like have creative minds and they know what they're doing. Oh, you know what? I did see this one. So Braun Breaker was about to say he didn't know what to think of Pete Dunne when he was called Butch, but Dunne stopped him. Dunne said he would beat Trick Williams and then win the NXT title and become a double champion, beating Breaker for the Intercontinental title. Breaker dropped a line about the dogs barking loudly in Canada and wished Dunne good luck, and Sheamus showed up and attacked Dunne until security intervened just long enough to get Dunne away. What did you think of this?
Another good promo. And the moment he said, I hear dogs barking, guess what happened? People started to bark.
Right. Yeah, because they can turn him like that.
Yeah.
So next we do Dominic versus Dragon Lee. Your boys, Dragon Lee.
Mhm.
Dragon Lee got you that. Dragon Lee may be the guy that got you the most heat with Tony Khan. That might have been the
Percent.
yeah, the Dragon Lee. But Dominic beats him. But this is not a bad match at all. And it was good cheap heat building cheap win for Dom. Powell's POV, a solid heat building cheap win for Dom. That said, Lee just can't seem to get out of first gear in WWE. Would you agree with that?
Well, bro, not everybody's gonna. He just
Right.
got there. I
Right.
mean, you know, look at Carmelo. What's his name? Melo, the guy that's going against Andrade.
Look, you know what? This is they need to do a correction on this too. And maybe Dragon Lee is Dragon Lee a good looking kid?
Yes.
Maybe he needs to take the mask off. Okay, because I think there's a perception. Okay, we watch 7 hours of TV each week, or 7 hours worth of shows. Maybe we don't watch in 7 hours, but we'll watch the shows, right? Bro, it just seems like there's a perception that every Mexican high flying character on AEW or WWE is just a jobber. Like, how often do they win their matches? Like, never, right?
And that's not a perception.
It's actually the shoot, right?
Right.
But as I said, if you watch like Commander, Dragon Lee, it's like you could literally take Dragon Lee, put him on AEW, and take Commander and put him on WWE. Call Commander Dragon Lee and call Dragon Lee Commander. I don't.
Yeah,
think
you
the
wouldn't
fan
miss a beat.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't even know the difference, right? So, what about how about if they actually did it? What if they did an angle like that, or Mexican character from one show? What they were? We find out that some Mexican characters were actually performing on both shows under a mask, and nobody ever knew. That'd be actually interesting. This did not make it to Hulu. You want to tell me anything about Natalia, Selene Vega, and Lyra Valkyria against Shayna, the Pure Fusion Collective?
Well, I like the fact that now when you're in your hometown, you actually get a win, not like they used to do before. Natalia in Calgary with Bret there seems special. People were with her. She can still go. And basically, this was a quick match, and it was just an excuse for all of them to do a sharpshooter at the same time. And that's how the match ended. Still, man, I have to kazoo the pure
Fusion
Fusion
Collective.
Collective. That's brutal. And I don't know if you can beat people that much cleaner. So I wonder if, they're going on to another feud. But this is a very feel-good moment for Calgary fans.
The Pure Fusion Collective, they need to start doing some vignettes where they're doing like photo shoots or like glamour shots and stuff. Because that name sounds like, Pure Fusion Collective. That sounds like, I don't know. It just sounds like something like maybe like they're attractive looking girls and they I don't know. It's just,
They're not nothing.
but I'm still. So Drew is walking backstage for his next segment. He walks by Otis, Kieran, Maxine Dupree. They kind of always they stick them in scenes that just kind of get punked all the time. Maybe they're trying to still get sympathy on them. So Drew comes out, says it no longer bothers him when people chant CM Punk because it's basically simply in memory of. They chant his name now. So he's recalled Punk boasting him that he beat him in a strap match, thought he would get a world title match, but McIntyre said Punk screwed him out of the title 3 times. He added that he pinned him at SummerSlam. McIntyre said just because Punk's the best at touching 4 corners doesn't mean they're finished. McIntyre said he made Punk a bigger star, but he can live with it because he's the one who ended Punk's career. McIntyre shifted focus to his movie coming out with Batista. And McIntyre said, I've got some bad news. And it's regarding you, Wade Barrett. They looked over Wade and everybody kind of got quiet. What's this about? McIntyre said Barrett was the only logical voice who fought his case while Michael Cole lied to everyone about Punk. And McIntyre questioned why Barrett stood in his way when he wanted it to end Punk. McIntyre said he wasn't angry with Barrett. He was just disappointed. Then McIntyre exited the ring and approached Barrett. Said, but if you do it again, I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm going to be angry, and I'm going to do something about it. He paused a bit. Then Barrett removed his headset, and he stood. Now the people are kind of getting with this, like the thing's going to fight. Then Adam Pearce comes out and asks if McIntyre has lost a plot in life so badly that he wants to fight his friend. Pearce climbed on the apron and said he didn't think they wanted to fight. Pearce asked McIntyre to join him in the ring because he had some news he would want to hear. And McIntyre called Pearce a corporate suit and joined him in the ring. And Pearce said he spoke with Punk and he's not done with McIntyre. So the fans said in Punk's name while McIntyre smiled. And McIntyre said he didn't believe Pearce. McIntyre asked the crowd if they wanted to see him fight Punk again. And Pearce said it has to end. Pearce announced Punk versus McIntyre in a Hell in the Cell for the Bad Blood main event. And Pearce dropped the mic and exit crowd while McIntyre looked unhappy. A very good segment here. Just, bro, everybody's just really good on the mic these days, Like you never hear anybody fumble a word or misspeak or it's good stuff. What'd you think?
Yeah, I thought that was great because I was like, how are they going to capture my attention this week, especially if Punk's not there because he wasn't announced, right? And, the fact that he got in Wade Barrett's face and Wade Barrett, did not back down, you're thinking, well, this might be where they go after the Hell in the Cell match, which would be very interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, he's warning him, do not stop him from beating Punk up again, which I was thinking, I wonder if he's going to get involved in the Hell in the Cell, but how would he get in? But I would think something's going to happen in that match where Barrett is involved. Okay. And then, of course, as I predicted that, not a big prediction, you kind of knew it was going that way. Priest made the announcement. This will be in a Hell in a Cell. And the people popped, very good segment.
Drew is a very good logical heel because everything he's saying makes sense and his purpose and everything. Yeah,
like Finn did.
Right. Yeah.
He me over with the Priest. Because of you, I lost against Seth Rollins in the Money in the Bank match, which is true, right?
Right.
I'm not your sidekick. Like he was making some good, valid points.
Right. Which is good.
Right.
Because that
makes the story even more interesting.
Makes the story stronger. And then you're thinking like, well, he's got a point. So kind of like, bro, it's like a real fight. If you guys have an issue with each other, they're both making good points, but then they do spots where the guys get heat on the other guy, like suckers him or something, which is good, just good stuff, So backstage, this didn't make it to Hulu. Let me read this. Backstage, Cross spoke with Miz and offered to help him out of his rut. Woods showed up and asked Cross what his angle was, and Cross said they were just having a conversation. Wished Woods luck with the Kofi Kingston situation. After Cross left, Miz told Woods that he invented the game that Cross was trying to play, and Miz could see that he was in a rut. After Miz left, Kingston showed up and informed Woods that he got them a shot at the WWE Tag Team titles. Woods put on Bret Hart's shades and said they would walk into their 10th anniversary in November as the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. So this is interesting. They missed something here, I think, to be honest with you. So Finn wrestles Ray, and they wrestled like 9 minutes. Good match. So this was set up earlier in the back. Then Balor applied a half crab through the ropes, but Balor ignored the referee's 5 count and they disqualified him. So after the match, Balor dropkicked Ray into the ring post, and Balor told the referee to shut up, and additional referees came out and told Balor to leave the ringside area. Then Balor teased leaving, then ran back and dropkicked Ray into the LED board of the apron. The Balor told Ray that there's more where that came from and then headed to the back. I don't know. I thought the Ray should have had some help come out instead of the referees, you know? Like the LWO, like they're all going to stay in the back while the referees come out there. It's like, I don't know. What'd you think about that?
Well, obviously they're trying to give the Judgment Day a lot of heat, right? That's the main thing that I see here. What was it that what was it that you didn't like?
And that's, there's 2 factions here.
Right.
Okay. And even though there's a one-on-one match, you got one guy beating the guy up after the match, and the referees come out instead of like you would think the LWO would come out and they would have
right. That is a good point.
Like his friends would come out there instead of the refs. I don't know. That actually things like that are things if you're being logical storytelling, the guys you could bring up like in video or interviews or conversation. Ray was like, Ray be like, where were you guys?
Right.
The referees are coming. I'm not saying these are maybe they're thinking that way. I don't know. But
I think to me, what I get out of it, they're just trying to put some steam on Balor before his match with Priest. Correct. And what better way than to beat Ray with help, and then afterwards keep beating up on him.
Yeah. This did not make it to Hulu, but I like the verbiage here that I'm reading. Yeah, Ilya Dragunov was interviewed in the backstage area by Jackie Redmond. Dragunov credited Priest and Rhea Ripley for giving him a fair shot in his qualifying match because they fought off Judgment Day. And Dragunov brought up having unfinished business with Breaker, who showed up and said they don't have unfinished business because he already beat him. Breaker said he could beat him again. And Jey Uso walked the picture and glared at Breaker. And Jay walked away and spoke to the camera, beat him in your city, then called for his music to play for you. Yeet. I like that line by Braun Breaker. He says, we don't have any unfinished business. I already beat you. That makes perfect sense, correct?
Right.
Yeah. That's what I would say. I already beat you. We're done. Yeah. I'll never get that when Raven was so after he beat Benoit that they had them wrestle again. And Raven just was fighting tooth and nail with Kevin Sullivan that he should move on to his next angle because he beat him clean already.
Right.
Do you remember that? How hot Raven was over that for?
And he had a point. If you beat him clean, why are you wrestling him again?
Right. But he did. But I remember that was a lot of the heat. That's why those 2 guys had a lot of heat with each other.
Right.
So
they kept those guys together. I remember they had Raven and Benoit at Starrcade, but Raven wasn't able to wrestle, so they used Saturn. Then they wrestled the next month. Raven won, but then like 2 months later, it was still Raven versus DDP as the feud, but Benoit would always interject in like a 3-way match, and it seemed weird Benoit was still involved. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because Kevin wanted to protect, bro. That's back when Kevin. You guys got to understand. One of the biggest narratives backstage for a few months was DDP constantly arguing with Kevin Sullivan and Raven constantly arguing with Kevin Sullivan. Remember that, Konnan? They would always be in conversations over there and stuff, and they're all honest.
Of course, I remember.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's like so, bro. They were paying.
We would talk about it all the time.
Yeah, all the time. We were driving together with those guys, and but they were. If I was Kevin Sullivan, those 2 had to be the biggest pain on the roster. By far.
The time period we're talking about, that's pretty wild to me because that means Raven was only there a few months, and he was already a rabble rouser. So that's
right.
And you're barely even here.
Bro, Raven. He likes to be in charge of literally everything.
Yeah.
Okay, he wants to book everything his way. He wants to go. That's why Raven actually got along with Russo a lot. Because Russo gave Raven good material that he liked. So him and Russo said that, like, Kevin would always have Raven doing stuff that Raven didn't want to do. Raven had other ideas, but Russo and Raven always clicked with each other, you know? So that was
there's a weird alternate universe out there where when Raven, you talk about this meeting all the time, where Raven and Konnan got singled out and stuff, and Raven walked out. But if he didn't walk out, he would have been there working with Russo 2 months later, and who knows how different his career would have went, right?
Right.
So
yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we go to the main event. Let me see here. The main event is the 4-way for the chance to earn the title shot, and they did a very good job of teasing each guy was going to win this match. And actually, when they had their pop for their false finish, the fans were like almost buying it. Right? I noticed that. Very well done. Bronson Reed came out and intervened and knocked Strowman out of the match with a really cool looking spot where he dove off the barricade onto Braun through the table, like squished him through the table. Did you see? You saw that spot, right? That was very impressive. What you call it? So then they did a good finish here, where Dunn and Dragunov were going at it. Dragunov stuffed the bitter end. The Dragunov put Dunn down to hit the H button. Then Uso returned and kicked Dragunov when he was covered and they hit the Uso splash on Dunn for the pin. 1, 2, 3. They got a big pop. And Braun Breaker into the ring while Uso was celebrating. Uso turned around, spotted Breaker, and smiled before the show went there. Like he was gonna, like he got him, like he wasn't gonna get him, but he saw him before he could. So, what'd you think of this show?
I loved when Bronson Reed came out of nowhere.
Right. They shot it perfectly too again.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's like
that was
this
great.
big giant thing flying up.
Like, what?
Yeah, right. So
yeah. Dragunov and Dunn, when they're together, they do really good stuff. Uso super over. Given how close he's been, given how many times he's been close to a title shot and come out short, this was perfect because they'd been underutilizing him and Jay got the win as he should have. I'm just afraid that since Breaker's so hot right now, it's not the right time to give it to Uso, even though Uso does deserve it. And I was reading it, the show's going to be in Atlanta.
Yeah. Do you think I should go there and climb the rail with Cody's in the ring, confront him
100%.
To apologize for that tweet from 5-6 years ago?
Yes.
Would you think that'd get
and every tweet afterwards?
Oh, and it's apologize for calling me Inferno Disco on their interview.
But in summary, I like the Judgment Day. I like the main event. I like the McIntyre thing. I like that they chose Uso as Breaker's challenger. The return of Bret Hart. Gunther's line. I thought this was a good show.
Yeah, I thought it was good too. Like I said, there's entertaining stuff on this show, but definitely. So that's been our Raw review.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.